Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships. And today, I'm going to be talking about this whole CV Rework concept that Wargaming has just tested it out in the Clan ST server. Unfortunately, I have tested it out myself, but I was having a really bad infection around throat, and that literally stopped me into making very crucial videos that I want to share. Like, I want to share my direct response. Like, literally want to showcase you the testing that I've done and showcasing you the gameplay as well, which I did not able to do that so because of my serious infection. Fortunately enough, after battling it for almost more than 10 days, I am finally back and normal. Almost normal, 90%, 95%. And that's why you are probably hearing me a lot much more clearer now. But what I have done, besides the testing, since I have literally no sort of like videos, the clips that I want to showcase you during my testing, I decided that I will post every bit of the text and the experience that I have in the, I would say, just give me a second, in the Reddit myself. This is me. I have the UrAvgWarGamer Reddit name, and I have posted it myself and explained my personal thoughts. I mean, I have also did the same thing in my YouTube channel post area, where you guys can able to see all the points that I have written below. And these are my personal thoughts and opinions. And I think a lot of people definitely agreeing with this all information that I have posted. It's a big post, but as you can see here, a lot of people are agreeing with that. Like, there are tons of comments that you can read down below, like tons and tons of comments. Okay, but what I will do here is I will explain it myself, like, and maybe give some couple of references from, I would say, the Hex Tailman. I just love this guy. He's a really good YouTuber. He's also relatively new. I think he has started his channel a couple of months ago, and I would highly recommend you guys to look at his channel for many information for the game. He's a really good, I would say, storyteller in terms of giving the analysis and information. Like, when you hear it, it feels pretty good. So highly recommend you that channel, and I will give you the references when he will play the carriers, along with my information that I have gotten experiencing this CV Rework 2.0. So, since I have played like the CV Rework 1.0, whatever you call it, for like many years, this CV Rework 2.0 is definitely not good at all. It is actually going to make the game really bad. If it gets into the live servers, I'm telling you, it's really bad. This whole concept and design is completely flawed. I think Wargaming did not even try to analyze and understand what, I would say, complications that it will come up with if you come up with this travel mode, recon mode, and everything, which I will be explaining right now. Okay, so in the Reddit post, just like I said, there are other YouTubers. You can go and check out the potato quality. There's Remu. He's a CV player. Potato quality is not a CV main. He's actually anti-CV sort of guy. But still, his information for the CV Rework 2.0 is valuable. You can go check that out. Hex Tailman, I have showed you this channel. I will definitely gonna take his clips as reference, and also gonna be explaining my points along with that, so that you can understand like what is really going on. So, the first point, the biggest problem of this CV Rework 2.0, it is that the entire AA aura is completely useless as you simply drop from 2 to 3 kilometer. Yes, I mean, the auras like 5.8 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 6.9 kilometer for some light cruisers, well, it does not really matter in this CV Rework 2.0. If you have tested it out yourself, you will eventually find out that you can just simply go during the, I would say, travel mode, and just simply go to the battleship which is spotted by someone, and you just drop that guy around 2-3 kilometers. So that entire AA aura just completely gets wasted. It's not doing anything for you because you're just gonna drop him from 2-3 kilometers. So it will kind of look like that. All right, to prove my point, as you can see here, look at this. I will gonna play this and you will see my first point why I am saying this. This Montana literally got spotted at around 5 kilometer. Let me just zoom it in. Okay, he's got spotted by someone. It's not spotted by us because we are in travel mode. So this guy, this Heg Stillman, I hope I just didn't mispronunciate his name, but again, I want to just reference his clip. So as you can see here, he will just gonna go, and he's not a CV main. He said that he's basically, I would say not, like he didn't play that CVs. He already explained that in his video. So as you can see, he is in travel mode, and look at that. This is 3 kilometer where he started to start his attack run. And that's what I also kind of experienced. So look at this. He popped the heal because Wargaming gives them the heal. And well, heal means that you will have a full strike potential regardless of whatever entire air numbers might look like. Look at, you can see here, he gets back into the travel mode and he just easily get 3 torpedo hits, resulting in get a flood. Like he literally get a flood. And that's why the entire AA aura is kind of gets useless. If someone able to spot that battleship, and most of the time the battleships and heavy cruisers are going to be spotted by someone. Well, and I mean, they will shoot and they will be getting spotted. So you can just use it as your advantage and can utilize the power of travel mode, because travel mode does not make any problems for the CVs because you don't take AA damage. So you just have the power of the travel mode along with the power of the recon, or I would say attack mode, and you get this easy time dropping the target from 2-3 kilometers because of the spotting by someone. And that kind of negates every AA aura of that particular battleship or cruiser in the game. Second point, dolphining is still possible with 1 second of recon time to spare after using almost all the recon mode a couple of times. So what I meant by that is, maybe if I can able to show you the clip of this guy again, because he kind of has the same experience that I was having during testing, but I didn't able to make videos because of my infection. So just give me a second, I will showcase you that important point as well. Alright, so here is the clip that you can see here that he has 1 second of recon mode. Okay, he able to utilize all of the recon mode before until he get up to the 1 second where he gets from recon mode back to the travel mode, and he able to save 1 second of recon mode. Now what does that literally mean is, if you get to the recon mode, you will have 1 second to spot every ship out there that is trying to be around this area. So he will utilize the recon mode quickly. He basically going to get tagged because there's a CV, and look at that, he gets to the recon mode and back to the travel mode. So dolphining is actually still possible. Like, that's what the point really looks like. Look at that, he still have get the 1 second of recon mode from that same squadron that he utilized before, because he only able to regen 1 second worth of recon mode time during the phase that he was using, or I would say getting back to the carrier, and then he just charged 1 second because he's not using the other planes, which does have 20 seconds. As you can see here, they do have 20 seconds of recon mode. And that's why dolphining is still possible. Now, the third point, directly dropping ships above 3 kilometers is so dumb, as the skill required to play CVs is literally done. Remember guys, we used to have flags. They have removed the flags. We used to have AA aura. We don't have AA aura. So what is remaining is that the CV go to the guy that is spotted, and then he will just drop him, and that's it. There's nothing else, or there is like a skill wall to just go and drop the target, because it is so much dumbed down to literally that there's a ship that is spotted, you go and drop it. That's it. No flag dodging, no AA aura understanding, literally nothing you need to do. Now, for example, if I give you the real example. Alright, so I will try to reference the same clip that I have showed you before with the 1 point, and as you can see here, he got the drop, and now once he got the drop, the planes get to the travel mode, right? Now what's the problem between this rework and the current rework that we are having right now is that now he does not, like in our current rework, we do have to dodge the flags. We have to understand that under 3.5 kilometer, our planes are gonna be taking more continuous air damage. In this case, you don't have any issues whatsoever. A player, a CV player that is, I would say, as new as tier 4 carrier player, able to get to the travel mode after dropping it with the heal, and now he just simply have to align his aim without even fearing of dodging AA flags, understanding the Montana's AA aura, because that does not really require. Now you can see here, he's in travel mode. The Montana is spotted. Skill is 0. There's 0 requirement for the skill for this player to do something about this ship. Like, there's nothing else you need to do except to just simply drop him, and now you're getting back to the travel mode. That is the most dumbest thing that I can think of for this carrier rework that they are coming up. Look, again, the same thing. You know the previous location of Montana? So you can just simply align even if he is getting unspotted. He's doing the same thing. And by the way, remember guys, he already got the DCP up. He does not have DCP right now. You can actually able to feel free to just get a permanent flood while just hovering around this Montana and Republic without any fear of losing your planes down. This is completely terrible design that they are suggesting for us to do something about. Like, look at that. He's just dropping Republic. He's just dropping the Montana. He got incapacitation. He also got the engine of Republic. He also completely messed up the Montana. Like, what are these players gonna do here? Like, they are simply a food for CV, and the CV is like, I'm just gonna hover around you forever, and you can't do jack shit. That's what literally it's dumbing down to. The skill, the CV skill that you used to have before, because you have to dodge them, dodge the flags, understand the AA aura, is literally none. You just simply farm BBs as a long-range damage farmer. Look at that. Yes, the A is there. You're losing planes in the attack flight, but again, you just simply go and drop this again. And look, one torpedo will still gonna hit this Republic. Look at that. And I think he might eat like maybe 2 torps, maybe. No, never mind. But look at that. He got a flood because he hit onto the bow, where that the flood chance is the highest from aerial torpedo. And he's just so much having free time. Look at the damage. This is the first attack. This is the first quadrant, by the way. This is the first quadrant that he's using. And this is my experience. The experience that he has, I also have my experience, but better. Because I have played CVs myself. I basically brutalize even harder these players, these Montana and Republic, than this guy is doing. Like, if he has 47,000 damage, I have maybe like more than that, because I just somehow managed to just save my planes a bit more easily than him. But even then, it's not like a lot, because again, target selection is important. There's a Republic that is trying to shoot down his planes. I will take an isolated target, but I think this still is a very, 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 very good option. And look at this. He's dropping it, and he's just gonna get another drop. Like, what is this? What? Like, that Montana literally have no control. Like, literally have no control to shoot down these planes. Wargaming thinks that they are trying to give the control somewhat and preventing the strikes in general and preventing the spotting in general. But is going to be clearly a solution with this rework that we are going to be getting shoved down to our throats? Like an infection? Like I had an infection? This is going to be pretty much similar infection for all the poor battleship players. How they will counter this? I have a big question. Like, this is Hakuryu. I mean, if there's FDR will have a bit more tankier planes for sure, even though they have nerfed the FDR planes in general in this rework. So the point stays the same. The skills, I mean, you have seen what he's doing. Free. Like, there is nothing else the Montana and Republic can do except to just look at the planes, or either play their own game that they were playing, fighting against other surface ships. Like, what chances that Montana has to also dodge the planes, which he can't. The payload he cannot dodge because you can perfectly strike and aim. But anyways, we will go to the next point. Extremely difficult to understand for a surface ship what CV will be doing its next move against him, and a CV constantly hovering over him in travel mode with no downside. I think that previous clip, clearly justifies this 4 point and the 3rd point. I don't think so I need to showcase you that clip again for a reference. Like, honestly, that Montana does not understand when he will drop you. I mean, he can drop you from any angle. The thing is that in travel mode, you are basically immune to anything. There is no downside if you are in travel mode while someone is spotting them. So this is the problem. CV constantly hovering over you. Like what you will be able to do over those planes, your anti-air will do nothing. And meanwhile, you get spotted, especially the battleship and heavy cruiser, and you're going to get the CV is going to get the benefit of travel mode, of the immunity from AA, as well as at the same time, he can just position his plane such that he will get a perfect strike because he does not have to sort of fear from the AA aura or AA in general getting the plane shot down, which we currently have sort of a skill wall with the help of flags, with the help of AA aura. Nothing is there in this testing of the CV Rework 2.0. Nothing. CV sniping from Nakhimov or Shinano is easier because I'm giving you the references of Nakhimov because Nakhimov has a very, very good high strike potential in a single attack run. And Shinano, AP skip bombers also have very, very high potential. You have seen a lot of my clips of the Shinano and Shinano for sure. So is easier than ever by directly going to CV spawn and by simply dropping one payload against surface ship. So what I'm literally saying, if you're playing Shinano, you have 3 attack runs, right? You have 3 attack flights. I use 1 attack flight against a surface ship, and then I will have 2 attack flights remaining. Maybe, yeah, exactly 2 attack flights remaining. Now I can use 1 on the surface ship, and the extra, for extra damage, because again, I want to utilize the 2 attack flights, right? And 1 on the CV. So you, for example, you spot the Montana, you drop him, or not spot the Montana, someone spot the Montana, or maybe you just use recon mode, spot the Montana, you drop him, and then you will go to the CV, which is going to be in spawn. And if you shoot the AP skip bombers on him, resulting him almost the same CV sniping potential, but just gonna take a bit more time because you cannot drop 2 times in a row. You will drop 1, but that's still gonna be 4 citadels or 3 citadels, and that is like 27,000 HP or 20,000 HP of the enemy CV. So is this gonna help these carriers against Shinano or even Nakhimov? Especially Nakhimov is gonna get huge benefit. Like Nakhimov just gonna go directly to the, I would say, spawn of enemy CV, and he will just drop you. And here's the funny part: the fighter squad from the enemy CV, which is in travel mode, permanently gives you idea of where the enemy CV is to help you perfecting a strike against him. Now, why I'm saying this? I think another clip reference will be clearer, will make you clear that what I'm really talking about. Like, you are in travel mode. By the way, in travel mode, the fighter planes you will be able to spot of yours as well as the enemy ones. All the fighter planes, even the spotter planes, I'm sure the fighter planes can still be spotted in travel mode. So what does that mean? If the enemy CV has the fighter plane consumable launched or triggered, you can actually able to understand where the carrier really is. From the travel mode, you can see it yourself. And then you just drop by just getting a bit of the utilization of recon mode. Like for example, in the clip, I will show you again. Okay, give me a second. So this is the situation again. As you can see, he has 1 second of recon mode. And look at this plane. Did you see? You are in travel mode. This plane is of Nakhimov. This is Nakhimov fighter plane. You can see here in the minimap, the Nakhimov is not spotted because you cannot spot in travel mode. But guess what? You can at least spot the plane that got launched of the Nakhimov in travel mode. That really means that the Nakhimov is here. He's somewhere here. In the minimap, if you can look at the cursor of mine, the Nakhimov is literally there. So what you can do, if you know the location of the Nakhimov, you will just go here. For example, you will go to the H line. You spot the Nakhimov here. You will precisely able to get the the position because of the recon mode, and then you go back to travel mode while utilizing the dolphining. 1 second, and then you can just perfectly strike him. Even though he will just gonna try to showcase you the dolphining problem, but as you can see here, the Nakhimov planes also got launched here. This is another sign that the CV is here. without even need to get into the recon mode. So you can perfectly strike with the attack mode later while utilizing the dolphining. So look at this. He will use the recon mode quickly, like for a second. He will look at that. He popped the recon mode, and he exactly know the CV location. Now imagine if you don't use the recon mode here, like he did here. You just go here. For example, you go like there. You will spot the Nakimo, and you will get the precise location. And then you will just gonna go and drop like this. You're just gonna go and drop like this. Just going to get a lot of HE skip bombers or AP skip bombers of Shinano. And yeah, that's basically what it's gonna be. The CV sniping because of these fighter planes is gonna be real. And you will just easily precise the CV. Unfortunately, that's gonna be a reality. You are going to be a lot much more vulnerable to get CV sniped because there is no other defense barrier like AA Aura that we are having right now. Nothing like that exists because of the travel mode. Anyways, we go to the 6th point. Dropping multiple times on a ship at any time is too easy that no skill is required. I think this is the same point that I've showcased you of the Montana. You see what I'm doing to that Montana? I was dropping multiple times on a ship at any time. I think I have showcased you in that video that the Hake Stillman, dropping him relentlessly. The wargaming important key issue that they are trying to resolve with this CV Rework 2.0, that the carrier will not be able to get a strike like heavily. He won't. In other words, you won't be able to grief that single guy the entire game. But this is not possible. The CV Rework 1.0 is designed such as that you cannot make a single ship having strong AA enough that you will literally be immune from the strikes. That is, the CV Rework kinda contradict with the design of CV Rework 2.0, if you understand what I meant. So you have, because the innate ability of a CV Rework 1.0, that you will lose planes, okay, but you will still be able to drop him, does not change from the, or I would say does not change in the CV Rework 2.0. The CV Rework 1.0 that we currently have in the live servers contradict the design because we are taking some of the changes, big changes from CV Rework 1.0 to 2.0, and they cannot contradict this change. They cannot do that. The CV Rework 2.0 cannot make a single ship immune to getting dropped. And that's why they also have given literally every single CV heal on almost all payload types. So that is insane. That is like really bad. They cannot able to address this issue in the CV Rework 2.0. So what's the problem of, like, what's the point of this whole rework? What's the point of Rework CV Rework 2.0 if you are going to get dropped multiple times? They cannot do that. It's impossible. You're still going to get dropped. Maybe not on the light cruisers, but battleships still gonna be a huge target, and even a bigger target in the CV Rework 2.0 than currently today in live servers. Okay, 7th point. Completely dumbed down gameplay of full CV striking by giving every CV, I have to say that it should be almost, okay? Every almost CV going to get a heal consumable. I mean, FDR gets heals, Malta AP bombers gets heals, Nakhimov HE skip bombers gets heals, Midway HE dive bomber gets heals, Hakuryu AP bombers gets heals. I mean, if I name all the CVs, most of the CVs now have a heal consumable, so that you can have a first strike without losing a plane. So that is straight up boring to the core level, and also very bad in general, because then what you will do if there's, for example, an Annapolis which like insane AA, if you build it for fully defensive AFR, everything, that heal consumable will 100% ensure that the carrier get a full strike on that Annapolis. And I mean, Annapolis has 55,000 HP, right? With one strike, he will lose his HP 20,000 in a single drop. For example, Hakuryu planes or the Shinano planes usually do like 15 to 18 to 20,000 damage. And he can do that with AP skip bombers while healing. He can use HE skip bombers, Nakimov, while healing. Completely negate the entire power. And making sure that the CV get a strike for damage on the light cruisers or Annapolis. If not on the battleships, using the heal consumable on cruisers is going to be the second best thing for a good CV player. He will most likely going to use the heals on cruisers so that they will get a strike off by using the heal consumable that they are trying to portray in the CV Rework 2.0 a lot. Again, no skill required. Like, what skill required? You just pop the heal and you will get a full strike. That's it. Number 8th point. The difference between Unicum and average CV player is completely dumbed down to just selecting targets or perma-flooding upon gaining opportunity only. Nothing else like flags, AA aura matter anymore. You can see here, the flags does not exist in the clip that I've showcased you. AA aura does not matter. What does matter is that you are selecting target. Now, for example, if you find an isolated Montana or Yamato, even worse, Yamato, you will grief him entire game. You will just gonna grief him. You're just gonna sit, directly go from travel mode and get to that Yamato without any fear of flags, any fear of AA aura like Minotaur. You just simply go to that poor isolated battleship Yamato and you will just drop him. And or if you find, for example, a destroyer that gets spotted. I'm telling you the difference between an average player or the super unicum player. That what they will do after this CV Rework 2.0. What they will literally do. For example, if there's a DD, the DD is there. Let me just give you an idea from this thing. What I'm trying to say. So, for example, give me a second. Okay, so I know this is terrible writing, terrible way of showcasing you the example. But again, you pop your planes and you just go into the travel mode. Go to the Yamato here. And you will just keep striking him, 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 keep striking him. If there's like Mino, this is Mino, it does not matter. If there's Annapolis, it does not matter because you are in travel mode. The travel mode ensure that you get to the target safely and easily while that Yamato is isolated. If this Yamato is isolated, you just go and drop him, drop him, drop him. And this is what like good players going to do. For example, maybe the average CV player, his target selection is going to be worse. For example, the average CV, I talked about the super unicum. He will just going to go straight to the isolated battleship. What the average player will do? Average player will simply just going to go, for example, to the Yamato. But for example, there is going to be Minotaur. There's a Minotaur along with Yamato. Both are very close to each other, like very close. So what that really means is Mino AA and Yamato AA is going to be definitely shooting down those attacking planes. Like, for example, if you have Hakuryu planes, 1, 2, 3 planes in an attack flight, usually Yamato might be able to shoot down one plane if he's isolated. Now, Mino might be able to shoot down another plane along with Yamato. So, an average player is still going to only get 1 strike. And a super unicum might be able to get either 3 strikes or 2 strikes depending upon the AA of the Yamato. So an average player can only get one torpedo. Meanwhile, the super unicum will just going to get 3 torpedo hits or 2 torpedo hits for sure. Or sometimes even if there's like, for example, the Annapolis, I'm just giving you an example. He might not be able to shoot down or drop the Yamato at all because Mino, Annapolis, and Yamato AA is basically overlapping, resulting in him not getting a strike at all. So you need like quite a lot of ships to just protect the Yamato. Like, what is this? And that's why, this is what is going to be like the unicum and average CV player difference most of the time. Or you can just get the opportunity to get permanent flooding because a Conqueror shot the HE shells. You have seen that the Montana DCP'd. You just wait and hover around him because he's spotted, and then you just drop him. The AA aura, the flags does not matter because that Montana is isolated, and the Conqueror shoots HE, he DCP'd, and you're just going to get permanently flooded because the Conqueror shoots at you. And the Montana shoots him back, and he's spotted, and now you drop him for free. No fear of flags, no fear of AA aura. Like, tell me if this is not a broken design already. Anyways, getting to the 9 point. I know it's going to be long, guys, but you will understand every information about this CV Rework 2.0. CVs are going to be more like super long range damage farmers, now against mostly spotted isolated BBs and heavy cruisers in enemy team. Now, that's going to be your role. Like, your role is going to get changed. You don't need to spot DDs because it's going to be really bad. Like, you cannot able to spot the DDs at all. It's not worth it. Your recon mood time is so low. Your recon mood is only 20 seconds. 20 seconds usually, even what I have experienced when I was playing the CV Rework 2.0 or the testing, I was not able to get a huge value in spotting DDs unless someone spots him and he gets into the crossfire and you make also a crossfire, resulting in him taking my torpedoes or taking some itchy shell hits from someone. Other than that, you're just gonna be a super long range damage farmer against an isolated, spotted battleship and heavy cruiser. Because heavy cruisers usually going to have big concealments. Battleships also going to have big concealments. And when they usually shoot, they will be spotted. And then the super unicum player, a good player, will understand his position and then just use his travel mode to his finest and just gonna drop him on his broadside without any problem, because he does not have to fear flak, he does not have to fear AA aura whatsoever. He will just drop around 2-3 kilometers, like what I have showcased you in this video as well. Like, what is this? Like, is what Wargaming wants for the CVs to, like, this is not gonna do good. I'm telling you, it's gonna be really bad, really, really bad. But I hope Wargaming understand this, but I don't think so at this point they will, because they have worked on this concept for more than a year now. Like, that's a lot of time. The defensive AA and auto AA charge that they are continuously trying to push down to our throats, that this is gonna change something. This is gonna change something. I'm telling you, this is not gonna be able to wipe out CV attack squadron. For example, if there is very strong AA, right? Sure, you can say it has somehow auto AA charge, it has defensive AA fire. Sure, but then you also have a heal consumable. Once you pop the heal consumable, your auto AA charge and defensive AA completely going to get useless because of the heal consumable. So you're still going to get a strike. For example, you get a strike onto the guy who has used defensive AA fire and also at the same time using auto AA charge. You just use a heal consumable. A super good player will use a heal consumable during attacking Annapolis, Montana, or Minotaur, at least, etc. So it won't be able to just wipe out CV attack. And even though he might able to do that afterwards, if he does not have a heal, he's still able to do the damage during the heal time, right? Again, protecting the carriers so that they will drop you regardless. They have given you a lot of ways to do that, and this is one of the way, heal consumable. And you can just find a way, like using the islands as cover, and you will be able to drop on Annapolis or someone else. I mean, there will be countless ways, I'm telling you, at some point in future, if they have decided to come up with these changes, you will be able to drop them regardless. So it's not like you cannot. You will still be able to, in one way or the other. But here's another problem. If they nerf the HP by hammering tier 10 CV's HP overall, to make a stronger of surface ships, like if they nerf the HP of tier 10 CVs, right? Because they think, okay, the CV's HP is the problem, we nerf it, and now you might be able to wipe off CV attacks because now your plane's HP is not that good, right? But what's going to happen? It will contradict with the basic design philosophy of the CV Rework 1.0 that we all been playing for more than 5 years. It will just completely nullify, or I would say contradict, because the tier 8 carriers are going to be completely useless. The tier 8 carriers cannot even drop at all. If the tier 10s might lose 1 or 2 plane, if they nerf the HP, the tier 8 carriers are going to be entirely terrible in position to drop any torpedo or any bomb in tier 10 matchmaking, because they can't even able to drop them, because the planes will get shot down. The whole attacking flight will get shot down, because that's the design that they're trying to push in. Tier 8 carries will not be able to do that. So that's gonna completely contradict the whole design philosophy of the CV rework, the main CV rework, that they are trying to push some of the aspects by introducing the CV Rework 2.0. So you can already see why I'm saying this. Point number 12. Making crossfire on BBs and cruiser is easier, I have to say easier and easier than ever, especially if isolated and getting spotted. I think the same thing. Primary food for CVs is going to be ship getting spotted, ship is isolated, you farm him. And after dropping the first payload, the BB cannot be able to dodge the attack. Again, it's the same thing that I showcase you in the Montana. Like you get safe to the you get back safely to the travel mode without any harm, and then you outmaneuver any BB because you can just simply do that. Like the point of maneuvering against travel mode planes is going to be useless, because those planes are never going to be shot down after you drop the first payload, and then you just safely get back to the travel mode, and then you outmaneuver any BB because you can do that hovering over them, and that results in an extremely passive gameplay. Why I'm saying the extremely passive gameplay? Because you will find a target that is pushing. For example, there's an Ohio, there's a Libertad that is pushing. So he will remain perma-spotted. A pushing player will get perma-spotted. Okay? You drop this guy, and now you dropped him so much that he's dead, along with the other crossfire. And by the way, during the attack run, you will still be able to spot that ship. So you still be able to make a massive crossfire. Like for example, again I will showcase you something like that. So for example, this is a Libertad pushing, this is a BB pushing, okay? BB pushing, this is Libertad pushing, trying to utilize his secondaries, for example, okay? Now everyone is shooting him, our team is shooting him like here, like this. The team is shooting him like this. Now suddenly, because he's spotted, he's isolated, I'm just gonna go and drop him like this, making a crossfire. Either he has to dodge this, or either he has to dodge this. So the crossfire is still gonna be there. So what that Libertad is gonna do? And he's still going to be spotted. If in some miracle way he was unspotted for a couple of seconds, during the attack mode I will still be able to spot it, making a perfect crossfire, and someone will definitely gonna shoot him on his broadside because he dodged my torpedoes, maybe. So, oh, give me a second. So, like what the? I don't know. This is gonna be again the passive gameplay. It's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna change anything. You cannot be able to push still. It does not matter. Now it's gonna be even worse pushing, because you are gonna be spotted and you're gonna be the food. The biggest food of the CVs for the CVs is gonna be the ship that is isolated and spotted. An isolated ship is gonna be most of the time a pushing ship. So most of the time, like sometimes you might get like a couple of other ships that are pushing you, but again, you will eventually find a position where you could just find an isolated target. Even though a lot of players are pushing behind you or something, you are still going to be able to do something about them. Forcing DCBs and getting perma-engined out and multiple floods is possible with the waves of strike and strike and strike, since the A cannot do anything after the payload drops and gets into the travel mode with remaining squadrons. I think this is the same point, but except that I'm trying to explain that now you can just abuse the travel mode while just dropping him at the point when the battleship damage control runs out. You can do that. You cannot do that right now because you are gonna be like in constant AA in the current CV rework. But in this CV rework, your fear of flags and A is just not there. So you just wait. You wait and watch. You wait and watch, and then you will get the permanent engine because his DCP runs out by someone shooting him. And multiple floods is also possible. You can even precisely drop, a super unicum player will precisely drop the bow and stern to make sure that you're going to get flood, and he will get strikes upon strikes upon strikes on that guy, because the A won't do anything after the payload drop. And you get to the travel mode, with the remaining squadron. And you will do the same thing again, again, abusing the travel mode. Because there is no, I would say, counter to this. The rework CV concept is going to be more like Nakhimov style, as Wargaming will try to add more planes in the attack flight than ever to make CVs having more potential drop load. For example, what I'm trying to say here is, for example, the FDR. Not only the FDR literally has gotten the heel on torpedo bomber and bombers, if I'm not wrong, your plane attack flight has gotten buffed. Attack flight has gotten buffed. So FDR used to have two planes in an attack flight. Now it has, I think, 3 or 4 planes in an attack flight, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I might need to check, but they have buffed the attack flights, which kind of make sure that you will have more potential drop load, right? Like for example, if you have 2 planes, one plane gets shot down for FDR, for example, that's 50% of your potential damage onto a target lost, because you only have 2 planes in an attack flight. So what Wargaming has done with FDR and Haku, because they usually have 2 planes in an attack flight, they have buffed the attack flight, making the design such as Nakhimov, but a smaller version of that. So you have 3 planes, you have 3 planes, you have 4 planes, you have 5 planes in an attack flight, just like Nakhimov style. Nakhimov use 1 attack flight. FDR and Hakuryu does going to have multiple planes in an attack flight, but having a bigger squadron and more abusing of these things that I've explained above. So again, dumbing down CV designs. It's simple as that. You cannot have 1 plane in an attack flight. You cannot have 2 planes in an attack flight, because it will get shut down for sure. Can't believe what Wargaming is doing. Like, it's seriously pretty critical point, to be honest, at this moment, if they don't understand. The most ridiculous thing is that CVs cannot spot for themselves in a travel mode. Okay? For me, it's important. You, as a CV player, cannot spot any ship in travel mode, but the enemy ships can spot the planes in travel mode. What is this philosophy? Like, what is this design philosophy? Bro, it just completely bamboozled your mind. You are in travel mode, you can spot. You cannot spot. Enemy ships, they are seeing the planes because they are in travel mode, which they should not, because the CV is in travel mode. Like, what is this contradict? Like, this completely contradicts the design philosophy of spotting. You cannot see, but they can see you. Which is like terrible. Now here's the biggest point for me and my personal thought on this whole CV rework after explaining all the points. I'm sure there are more points, but these are the main points. This rework is, in my opinion, the dumbest and the most insane thing that I have ever come across World of Warship in my 8 years playing. It will destroy not only the core CV gameplay by cutting out all the skill aspects, but will also kill BBs and heavy cruisers' life. Yeah, these are going to be, these 2 classes gonna be severely affected now. Okay? Who are getting constantly spotted if they shoot the guns, revealing position for CVs, and getting hard farmed in return. That is the simple thing that I can say. Long range damage farmers, no skill whatsoever, because no flags and AOR does matter. It just does not matter. You will not simply going to be using recon mode at all, because you have very limited time for that. I don't know, Wargaming. What makes you think that this is the right decision? I don't understand this. This is getting worse and worse than ever I can think of. Okay, what's the positive on this rework? Is the stealthy turboboats are gonna be having like a lot easier time. Like, your recon mode is not enough to spot these ships unless they are spotted by someone, which means these are not going to be the main targets now, or you will not be able to get abused by any CV player if he wants to spot you. Like, your life is completely from terrible to actually now good, because the CV's main help or main thing of spotting is not possible. And I mean, it's more of a way spotting you, because you just have to maybe abuse the attack run to spot you. Otherwise, it's just not possible. Like, there's no benefit for a CV player to spot you now. It used to be before, but it's not now. If you are, for example, isolated and far away, right? So you won't be a big target for CV. Okay, so but what does that mean in return? I have seen many Shimakaze players, many Yugumo players, many other torpedo board players, or many, I would say, average or even above average players literally trying to snipe CVs. So what will happen? The way it works, that these torpedo boats will easily snipe you because your recon mood is not enough to spot them, just like I said before, making tons of average skilled CV players rage quit, as it will be even more difficult to spot them and drop them, which I have explained before, which might be looking good, but it's not. But since Wargaming will buff them in some way, again to protect the average player gameplay. As simple as that. If they find that the CVs getting farmed by sniped from destroyers a lot, they will do something that will buff the CVs, which is going to be possible. And I fear that it might be possible. Okay, so again, also light cruisers are also going to have some good time because they have decent AA, and usually it's difficult to spot them unless you want to lose a lot of planes. Even though you can do all those abusive things that I have explained above, it's still gonna be not the good target for you, for sure. So I think they will going to get a lot much more valuable, I would say, things from this rework, at least in my opinion. Now here's another my thought that I say, and it's pretty obvious. I'm 100% sure Wargaming just want to give half-baked rework for a justification to nerf OP hybrids like Hildebrand, like maybe Commissar, like maybe Kearsarge, and order CV premiums, which they have made them for getting money. Because again, I think it's so obvious that the Hildebrand is so broken with the bombs and torpedo bombers because they want to earn a lot of money, because they know it's powerful, and since they are going to nerf them later on, they just release it before that. So this is a justification. The rework is going to be the justification. And by the way, here's the very funny part. Listen to this. For example, they also have given Enterprise for 14,300 doubloons at, I think, October or November in the last year, 2024. Why do you think that they are going to be selling Enterprise, a rare carrier, at that time? Because Wargaming knows that they will sell Enterprise like hotcakes before they are going to nerf them with this justification of rework. Yeah. Now you can understand how it's gonna be feeling like if you have bought Enterprise at that time, like a couple of months ago. Even though it feels like a good option, it feels like spending money is worth it because it is very strong. But well, now the rework is coming. They farm the money from you. Now what you will be doing with that Enterprise if they have nerfed this? Basically can't do much, honestly. So now the problem is going to be for Wargaming that because of this whole broken design, they don't even know what mess they will be in if they keep working on this completely dumb and broken design. They will still be doing this because they want to nerf the ships, nerf the older ships. So they will just use a rework as a justification. That's again my opinion, but it is entirely possible. The cost sunk fallacy is real because they have spent more than 1 year on this thing. Again, they have taken more than a year designing this whole concept. So what do you think? What are the chances that they will accept that this is going to be a terrible concept and design for CV Rework 2.0? Like, do you really think that they will just gonna revert these changes and accept the mistake that this is a terrible design and they should just look at the logbooks again where they just redesign this whole thing again? Do you think after more than a year, or I think 2 years from now, since the announcement, do you think this is gonna happen? I don't think so. I think we are in I think we are in deep trouble if this get into the live server, because I think they will, regardless of how much people will just gonna say negative about this CV Rework 2.0, they will still gonna shove this rework down to our throats because of many reasons, and one of the reason is this cost and fallacy, and one of the reason is to justify to nerf OP hybrids or older CV premiums in the name of Rework 2.0. But here's another interesting thing. The Lesta, the ex-UrAvgWarGaming Russian client, we know as Mir Korably. You guys definitely know that, right? As of right now, I'm sure most of the guys do know that the I would say the Russian ex-UrAvgWarGaming developers and the UrAvgWarGaming developers have decided in 2022 to part themselves. Like they have literally divided themselves, and we have two clients right now: the UrAvgWarGaming World of Warships and the Russian Mir Korably, which actually, by the way, have excellent development team for bug fixes, for ship modeling, and you can go and check that out. So many information is out there in the YouTube, like what Mir Korably really is if you don't know. That Russian client, that is basically almost a similar copy, but their own changes. They proposed an excellent change for CV spotting, at least better than this, which is, drum rolls, the minimap spotting, which we all were and are still asking for days that they implement this on live servers. Ex-UrAvgWarGaming Russian client Mir Korably, the developers proposed the minimap or partial minimap spotting. They have done that, but UrAvgWarGaming refuse not to do that. Why? Why do you think they're not doing that? They're not interested? Because let me tell you what is happening. Why UrAvgWarGaming does not want minimap spotting? This is a very simple answer. At this point, I know that someone in UrAvgWarGaming had a $1 trillion bet with the Playerbase that we will find a better design than minimap spotting. This is the big reason. Because Playerbase is telling UrAvgWarGaming that try to implement minimap spotting, UrAvgWarGaming thinks that the Playerbase is dumb and we are superior, we are better, so they will find a better design. This is the answer that why we are not seeing minimap spotting at all. Because majority of the Playerbase is telling UrAvgWarGaming. My God, how on earth UrAvgWarGaming has gotten so egoistic over these last few years that they just literally forget that this is the Playerbase that they are earning money from, and they're rejecting their own voice, which telling them to introduce minimap spotting. Like their own players, the Playerbase, that giving money to UrAvgWarGaming, when they tell that the minimap spotting is a better option than this, I would say, garbage rework, that just gonna be worse than anything. UrAvgWarGaming is like, no, we don't really care what you guys are saying because we think we are better than Playerbase. We are better in our thoughts and philosophy than Playerbase. This is what it literally dumbed down to at the moment. Again, I explained that in the last part of this whole thing, that if you have CVs, for example, if you have CVs in your accounts, if you are a CV player, for example, I'm talking about the CV players in this point. Make sure to ask UrAvgWarGaming for your premium CV refunds or steel resource refunds, because they definitely change some concepts or will change for more CVs in future. 100%. Like FDR completely gotten changed, right? Like they have to they're forced to just change the FDR design philosophy, right? And they have nerfed the Shinano AP skip bombers by removing the heel, for example. They have nerfed the Hildebrand HE bombers by just giving the drop, or I would say time to drop the payload, way too much time than right now. Like it takes a lot of time to get the bombs hitting onto that small reticle. So they are kind of indirectly nerfing the Hildebrand in the name of the CV Rework 2.0. So they're nerfing them, and they might nerf more ships in future. So please, if you have any opportunity, if you have a lawyer, if you have anything that can control this problem that wargaming will coming up in future by nerfing our hard-earned, spending real money, premium CVs, you try to get the refund as soon as possible once they do get away with the CV Rework 2.0, because I fear that this is coming and we all are going to witness the abomination that they are going to be putting in the live server. I don't think so there's any other way of saying this. There are many comments out there, like tons and tons and comments coming from many players. Everyone is concerned. Non-CV player, CV player, good CV player, bad CV player, everyone is talking in this whole, I would say, post down the main post that I have posted. You guys going to be witnessing the ultimately crackdown, or I would say the destruction of the CVs and also the ships like battleships in the coming future. It's going to be really bad, guys. Trust me, this is worse than anything that they can come up with in the name of CV Rework 2.0. This is worse than the CV Rework 1.0 itself. The spotting that they are trying to propose, the changes that they are trying to propose is flawed to the level that it is pretty garbage. Honestly garbage. Anyway, guys, it's a rant, it's an explanation, whatever you call it. I am here to help you guys and my community as fast as possible, as best as possible, and I have explained everything that I need to. Till then, I will be catching you guys in the next video. Peace out.